Hello everyone, this is the fifth episode of my 2026 Portfolio Challenge series where I try to beat the market by testing 4 strategies that range from sensible to slightly unhinged. I wanted to start by showing up front how each portfolio is doing and comparing them to the S&P 500 year to date. Currently, I've got 2 portfolios winning, with another 2 taking a pretty big blow this week. Both the 2026 main portfolio and my choice value picks are down around 3% from last week, which is hard, but that's the market, and especially with the risk that I'm taking on, that's expected. I'm not worried, and not just because it's paper trading with fake money, but also because I have conviction in the stocks in these portfolios, and I fully expect them all to recover. So, as you can see again, the choice value and the main are the only ones currently losing to the S&P 500, and last week all 4 of them were winning against the S&P 500. So let's continue. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is all done on a paper trading account, and these are all simulated trades with no real capital at risk. So in today's itinerary, we're going to go over the portfolio's performances. I'm going to talk about Paychex, LPLA, SE, and then we're also going to talk about what happened with Microsoft, United Healthcare, and Robinhood this week. So in the main portfolio, these are my current allocations. I've made quite a few adjustments this week. I sold quite a few stocks. But hopefully these are going to be the last changes for a while. So hopefully these allocations just grow and we'll continue on from here. Here's my total P&L. As you can see, there's quite a bit of change from last week. I took profit or losses on a few of them. Robinhood is currently a big loser. And then I also took a big loss on United Healthcare, which I exited. And then SE, I just entered it, but it took a huge dive. And then Microsoft as well. That took a big loss. Obviously, Rivian has been eating me alive. And then the rest of them are pretty small. Novo Nordisk as well, actually, is another one. And the other ones, Elf, I've already exited, so that's profit. Meta, it jumped up pretty big this week on earnings. And then we're looking at Celsius, which I took profit on half of it. Costco, which I took profits. And Micron, which I took profits. So basically, everything that's in play is currently losing. And the deep value portfolio, these haven't changed very much at all, so there's not much to talk about here. It's pretty even. PayPal and pins are down. Yeah, there's not much to say here. Some pretty good picks so far. And then the choice value one. So I'm keeping quite a bit of cash in this one. I did enter LPLA this week, but I did not enter the other 2 just because I'm fairly confident in LPLA. I see their growth potential. And this is value picks. I also exited, I think, Lulu and United Healthcare. So here are my earnings so far. Yeah, Lulu, I exited at a pretty big loss, and I also exited United Healthcare. But Micron, I also exited at a nice gain. So, it's down, but it'll come back up. I wanted to talk about a few of the stocks this week, so we'll start with LPL. LPL Financial Holdings, LPLA. So my value is currently 480 with 32% upside. Now, why am I bullish on it? It's because it's got huge earnings growth. So I bought this last week, but it's expanding, so there's not too much to talk about here. So let's go take a quick look at that. So yeah, it took a decently big drop this week from last week. But yeah, as you can see, it's a stock that's been going up. It's been increasing for a long time, and it recently consolidated, so I see no reason not to hold it. It's got earnings coming up in April, so it's got a bit of time, but its growth has been pretty well documented. I mean, we can look at it right here. And even the rest of the forecasts have them at 422. So I'm right there. I'm right with everyone. Yeah, everyone's saying buy. Just look at these earnings growths. I mean, growing at an increasing rate, which is what I like to see in growth stocks. It's got very good financials. So next up, now we're going to talk about Paychex. My fair value is 122, or about an 18% gain for them. I believe there's still a lot of growth left in them. And I think one of the things that I liked about them that I read online was that they've got an 83% retention rate, which is huge for a company like this, which is just growing right now. So people who start with them, stay with them. So we can remove that. And then Paychex. Yeah, I'm right in between these. I'm around here. It's at 103. I see, like I said, an 18% upside, 122. Yeah, I'm right under the average consensus. And again, the financials. I mean, they're growing slower pace than the other one, but they're still growing at an increasing rate, and their consumer base is just growing all the time. So I'm pretty bullish on them. This isn't a huge conviction play. It's just a nice small company that I think can perform well. We can look at them here for a second. Yeah, look at this. It's just straight down. I don't see a reason for this to happen like this. They're profitable. It's a fine company. The last one I wanted to talk about this week was again SE Limited. So this is a Southeast Asia digital entertainment company. And it's just another growth company that I just want to invest in. It's a small growth. My value is 150, which is currently almost a 30% gain. Medium-sized market cap. So this is a medium-sized growth stock. And it's got a nice price target of around 190 for the analysts. And I've got them a bit lower than that. But their financials are, if I remember, pretty good. Again, it's growing at an increasing rate. They're currently at 36% growth year over year. That's pretty insane, especially with their gross profits. And their operating income is also growing. Both of them are still growing at this rate, which is nice to see. Yeah, I mean, since like September, they've just been dropping after a nice big run. But I can see them easily going back up to 150, 160, even in the technical range. I mean, just the small peak is at 150. So if they can just get back, reclaim that peak, they're going to be fine. I'm not a huge technical analysis guy, but I think you can see trends with the charts. Now I wanted to talk about Microsoft. So their earnings were positive, but they didn't have a huge positive outlook. So let me just show you really quick on this chart. Look at this drop. So it dropped, what is that, 482 to 434. Yeah, that's 11% overnight, 10% overnight. So that happened because of the earnings call, which happened. And I mean, they surprised to the upside of both of them, but that wasn't enough for Wall Street. Just because in their outlook, they didn't explain how they're going to keep expanding Azure, and Azure slowed down. But even then, I mean, their forward PE is only 24.52 for a tech mega cap, $3.2 trillion. And they've got OpenAI coming up. That IPO should be either end of this year or early next year. So that's going to bring up a lot of the hype. And I don't want to invest based on hype, but that is a pretty big deal. So I'll keep on holding. I think their fair value is roughly where it was before the earnings. But I think that with the future OpenAI deal, and if they can keep growing Azure, then this fair value will go back up. So I'm going to keep holding. I think it's a solid stock to hold right now. I mean, it is a mega cap and it did drop 10%, but I think that's perfectly fine. These revenues are growing at a growing pace over the past year already. So I'm not too worried. Not financial advice. So that's Microsoft. And then, so United Healthcare. This one, so I actually wanted to exit this one before the earnings. Just forgot about it. This wasn't a panic sell. I planned to exit because I was just going over my stocks again. And I realized that I don't have a lot of conviction in United Healthcare for all the risks with the FDA and the administration that exists. And I was right to think that because the administration just messed up their whole Medicare thing, which is going to affect their revenues and everything else. So the general consensus is that they are undervalued. Everybody basically believes that, but these revenue growths, not enough considering their operating income is dropping. And that's without even the medical or the Medicare thing that's happening. So I wanted to exit before earnings, missed it. It fell an additional decent amount in earnings. I think it dropped even more than Microsoft. Yeah, it dropped almost 20% on earnings. I don't know. I'm not going to tell people not to hold it, but I personally not going to deal with it anymore. That's it. So finally, Robinhood. So there's quite a bit to talk about here. As you can tell, my tabs here are all open for Robinhood for this. So first off, let's go here to Hood. I drew a few triangles here just to look cool. I see that's what everybody's doing. So yeah, just drawing a few triangles. I saw that this resistance here, it goes back all the way down to, well, it was first a resistance back in August. So it's almost back down to it, and it seems to drop at roughly the same rate every time. Again, I'm not a technical analyst. I don't really do this. I just drew triangles for fun. My fair value is at 115 currently. Now, that is a huge PE ratio, huge PE. This challenge started when they were at 122, so I'm down pretty big on them. But they're not a huge company. It's only 90 billion. And I say only because PayPal is 50 billion and PayPal does almost nothing close to what Robinhood does. You've got JP Morgan. I mean, that's 10 times Robinhood size. And Robinhood has basically all the young people that I know. And that's also why I think the forecasts also have them around 120. I've got them at 115. And there's even people saying up to 180. They're a $90 billion company, close to 100 billion. That's growing at these rates. I mean, growing at an increasing rate, and it's just going to keep going up. And then the crazy thing is that these earnings, it's estimated at 0.623 and 1.35 billion revenue. So we're like EPS of 0.623 for this quarter. And you can actually download their monthly reports. I'm not sure where they're getting these numbers. Where do you download it? Oh, you can look at the monthly metrics, and then you can download November. They don't have December because that would be front running the earnings. So they're going to probably release December, January, or next week in earnings. So I got this open already. So you can see the growth here. These are total trading volumes. This isn't revenue. We don't actually know how much profit margin they've got, but you can ask chatbots, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude. You can just upload them this, tell them the quarterly earnings and the revenues and operating incomes, and then they can reverse engineer it. And it's really accurate. And so they were all saying that, if November or if December is close to November, which is a down month, so I don't think it's going to be lower than November, especially that December's got 22 trading days and November's only got 19, and these are all cumulative. So even if it's got November type numbers, which is still good, that's still very good, it's going to have a revenue of 1.48 billion, which is a significant beat in the revenue, and the earnings should be at like 0.7, like 70 cents. So I'm not sure where these numbers are coming from. I'm also not sure that if they beat earnings that much, I mean, I think they beat them even more here. That didn't really help. Stock dropped the next day, the next week actually. So I'm not sure it's going to help. So what's up with Robinhood in the future? So this is just somebody I like to follow. They make these equity research summaries. They used to be called equity research cheat sheets. So this is from like a month ago. And so he's saying that in his eyes, they deserve a PE of 60 in the base case. I'm not sure that's true. They are growing at a rate, I think, with the PEG ratio that would validate that, but I'm not entirely sure that that's the case. So maybe drop that a bit. But he's saying that if revenue grows 40 to 50% year over year, which, I mean, let's go quarterly now. I mean, 1.5 billion, so that would be Q4. That's a 50% growth almost exactly. So he would hit on that mark. He says if Gold subscribers reach 4.5 million subscribers, and I think, where was it? Yeah, so in the third quarter results, Robinhood Gold subscribers, 3.9 million, and this was in November. I mean, currently we're end of January. Actually, we can look up. Yeah, so Gold subscribers back in second quarter, which is July. So in 3 months, they gained, was that 400,000? Another 3 months this month, it's going to be another maybe 250, 300,000. So I completely see that by the end of the year, they can reach 4.5 and probably even closer to 5 million. So Indonesia expansion, so that started a few months ago. They've been talking about how they're going to expand in Asia and the trading volumes stabilize. So a big issue that I see is that a lot of people think that Robinhood, keep this shape in mind. Actually, we can do this. Okay, so you can see like Robinhood and Bitcoin, they've been correlated for a while, even back to the original IPO of Robinhood. And I get why that happens, because if we go back to the Excel here, we can see that the daily average revenue trades, this one, so that goes by crypto. And that's 0.6 on only 28 billion crypto trading volume, which is a higher margin than it is for the equity. But I mean, with the whole Gold subscribers, and they're expanding in Europe, they've got tokenized securities trading in Europe, not actual stocks, which isn't crypto. And then they've also got the new prediction markets. I mean, the prediction markets are pretty small currently. It's only 3 billion. The event contracts, they're called here. It's only been 3 billion the past month, or in November. But that's growing. I mean, you've had the college football playoffs. You've got hockey playoffs. You've got NBA playoffs coming up. You've got March Madness coming up. So this is just going to keep growing. And the barrier to entry, and I'm against gambling, by the way. So it really annoys me to see it in the app as a user. But the barrier to entry to go and place a bet is so small, because that's already where your money is. So it's not logging into a different app and putting your money into the app. So this is just going to keep growing, and people get addicted to this pretty easily. I mean, it's gambling. We all know how big gambling's always been. I just see this growing, but I could see it easily stabilizing out around 5-6 billion every month, which is a huge revenue source considering the amount. This is event contracts in billions of dollars, and they're earning 2 cents currently. Yeah, 2 cents per event contract, and an event contract on average is around 50 cents. So, I mean, they're earning, what is that, $120 million a month of, well, technically revenue, but revenue just on event contracts currently. And I could see it easily going up to 200, which is huge. That's huge. And that's not even everything, because currently they're working through Kalshi. Kalshi is it's like a betting app thing. I'm not advocating for Kalshi. I'm just saying that Robinhood operates through Kalshi, And they've just signed a few months ago. They signed with Susquehanna. So they just signed to make a acquisition of the Miami Exchange, which, and if you row it properly, then that whole 120 million is going to go to them. So that's another big positive going, and that's probably going to open up in the near future. And then there's also the deal with the 24/7 trading. So it's not going to be 24/7. It's going to be 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, more than likely. And the NASDAQ is already basically closed for that. NASDAQ 23.5. Yeah, so they already filed the proposal for it. That's going to happen this year. And if that happens, that's another big revenue stream for Robinhood. So, I mean, I can see where they're growing, even without growing their consumer base. And that's without Europe and Indonesia growing, Southeast Asia growing. Now, I added the Trump accounts here, which are child accounts, basically like 529s, to my understanding, where every child born while Trump's in office will get $1,000 from the government into a brokerage, and it'll release at 18, the age of 18. So they're finalists for that. So yeah, I mean, they're basically finalists for it. And if that happens, I mean, that's stable. How many births are there in the US? You've got 3.6 million. And since there's only going to be 2 or 3 trustees, that's 1.2 million, which is $1.2 billion in revenue every year. Yeah, $1.2 billion in revenue straight from the government per year. And there's like companies like BlackRock have already said that they're going to match what the government says. So, I mean, double that, $2 billion a year just from that. That's pretty big. That's another few hundred million per quarter, just basically given to them. So, I mean, if that hits through, then that's going to jump up. And then the earnings EPS. So I see a lot of analysts saying it's going to be around 2.2 to 2.4. I actually think that it's going to hit 0.7 this quarter, as I talked about. Yeah, I was talking about this. So I was saying it's going to go up to 0.7. If it hits 0.7, I don't see it dropping back down. I could actually see it expanding to 0.8, especially with everything I said now, with the 23.5 and the expansion of prediction markets. So that could easily go up to 0.8 per quarter. I could see their EPS being easily, 3.0 to 3.2 for the year. So that's significantly bigger than what the long-term expectations are. The current expectations are 21% growth per year. And 21% growth, they're going to beat that almost for sure for the next year and probably, I think, the next 3 years. So, their PE is huge. So I'm not saying it's not, but I think they do have upside. I think at 115, that's a 50 PE. That's going to drop to like a 40 PE after these earnings. So long as they show growth, I think they should stay around that 40 PE ratio. And this is just, again, check this out. It's really cool that they have it. I'm not sure how they have this and people are still showing such small EPS and revenue, but I already talked about that. By the way, Robinhood Gold is decent. I myself have Robinhood Gold. I use their credit card. I have it. Apparently, I'm one of only 300,000 that has it, but that's also another thing. They've got credit cards. They've got loans. They partnered with mortgages I saw on the app. So they're just expanding into a ton of revenue streams. So I don't see a reason for this correlation to keep going. Yeah, I think Robinhood, if they show the earnings that I think they're going to show, like a huge beat, almost a 10% revenue, I'm estimating, beat, and 13% beat on EPS. That's almost exactly what they had last quarter. What happened last quarter? Yeah, they just dropped. But I see them expanding into a lot of things. So I think that's enough for Robinhood. There's nothing else that I really wanted to talk about. I do want to say, though, that I am not planning on making a lot of changes anymore. I'm pretty sure this is what I want for the next few months. Oh, I wanted to talk about why the meme stock portfolio is down. So the meme stock portfolio, it's at 105 and I've got 109 cash, but I've got no positions. I've got only $1 of GameStop, but I've got a cash secured put of Robinhood, 10 of them. And that's down $4,000, a 101 for next week. I don't think it's going to keep dropping. Like, again, it could just drop to 80, who knows, but I don't think it's going to keep dropping much before the earnings. I think they're going to stay stagnant right around where they are currently. So this should drop and then I can just roll it up next week and, I'll be up to 109, 110 back next week. So not too worried about this meme stock portfolio, even though I kind of wish I held the GameStop one because, this doesn't show it. Look at this. They closed at 23.8 and they've already shot up to 24.8 just because Ryan Cohen, their CEO, again, he's just been reiterating that they're going to make a huge purchase. We'll see. I'm just going to watch this one from the sidelines. So that's basically everything. Thank you for listening. Have a good week and good luck to you all.